What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Stone Cold Steve Austin returning to the ring, AJ Styles wanted one more match with The Undertaker, Toni Storm nearly quit wrestling, Alexa Bliss is unhappy with WWE, Shane McMahon's original role at WrestleMania, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Now first story looks at Stone Cold Steve Austin returning to the ring. Our top of the news today is a report concerning Stone Cold Steve Austin's wrestling return. Fans tuning into WrestleMania 38 saw the long-retired superstar step back into the ring after Kevin Owens challenged him to an impromptu no-holds-barred match on Mania's first night. Austin agreed, battling Kevin Owens for over 10 minutes before dispatching him with a stunner. However, that wasn't the Bionic Redneck's only appearance, as he returned on night 2 following Mr. McMahon cheating his way to a win over Pat McAfee. Austin stunned McMahon for a true WrestleMania moment, but now that he's had a reminder of how exciting things can be, what are Austin's wrestling plans? Well, it turns out the Texas Rattlesnake has no plans for any matches, at least according to a recent story from Wrestling News. The word going around backstage is that Austin was happy with his performance in the match with Kevin Owens, and there are no plans for him to wrestle again. Austin's match with Owens was a lot of fun, and it was more than 60 seconds of brawling, in fact going nearly 14 minutes. Austin is 57 years old, and it's difficult to imagine him ending his career any better at his age. Should Stone Cold return for one more match? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, AJ Styles wanted one more match with The Undertaker. Speaking of retirement matches, fans are still talking about the brilliant Boneyard match between The Undertaker and AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36, the cinematic match that marked the Phenom's last bout. That might not have been Taker's last match had AJ Styles gotten his way, as the Phenomenal One revealed during an interview with Wrestling Inc. that he thought of many ways to work a match with Taker, that is until the pandemic forced the WWE to cancel having WrestleMania in front of fans. I mean, I had all these ideas and stuff that we were never going to do, but it wasn't meant to be. While the Taker-Styles match took a major detour, unless you think heading to a cemetery is a minor detour, when the two competed in their now classic Boneyard match. The Styles praised everyone involved and how it was a fitting finish for the Phenom's epic career. It wasn't just me, there's Gallows and Anderson, everybody setting everything up. It was a fun match that people can look back and go, that was great. And if he thought it was good enough for him to go, you know what, I'm good with hanging it up on that one, that makes me feel good. Nevertheless, Styles hoped he might persuade The Undertaker to work a traditional match once the fans returned. I think we all knew that once the Boneyard match got the reaction that it did, that it might be it. I called, he didn't return my calls, because he knew, hey, he's going to convince me to have another match. In hindsight, the Boneyard match was the perfect way to end Taker's wrestling career, as he was able to work around his physical limitations while also working in a match that evoked the spooky mood seen throughout his career. It's kind of rare that wrestlers get to walk away with dignity and a strong match, but Taker did both, solidifying his already remarkable legacy. Next up, AEW announces Samoa Joe's opponent. And now that he's all elite, Samoa Joe isn't wasting time getting back to the ring, as AEW President Tony Khan tweeted, arriving last week at Ring of Honor Supercard, Samoa Joe is signed with AEW and has said that he has plans to dominate. Samoa Joe debuts in AEW versus Max Caster in an Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament qualifier bout on AEW Live. Max Caster is known for his caustic raps, but he could end up with a fat lip if he's not too careful. Joe has said that he's going to be all business in AEW and plans on nothing short of reaching the top. Next up, Lesnar not present at Raw. A former WWE champion Brock Lesnar wasn't at Monday's post-WrestleMania Raw, and according to PW Insider, the Beast flew back home after counting the lights for Roman Reigns at Night 2's main event. However, fans should expect to see Brock back in action soon, as he's currently listed to appear at the upcoming WrestleMania Backlash and Money in the Bank shows. While Lesnar has popped the ratings with his increased appearances, it's unknown just how much he gets for them, and it may be cost prohibitive to have him on television every week. As we noted earlier, it'll be interesting to see who Brock wrestles next, unless the WWE plans on having him continue his program with Roman Reigns. The Tribal Chief hinted on Raw that he will reveal what's next for his career on SmackDown. The current belief is that Drew McIntyre will be Roman's next opponent. The two clashed in a non-title match at 2020 Survivor Series, with the head of the table emerging victorious. Next up, Toni Storm nearly quit wrestling. Our fans know that Toni Storm was unhappy with her time in WWE, but did you know that she was so unhappy that she contemplated stepping away from the ring for good? Storm, who reportedly asked for her release last year, spoke with AEW Road to YouTube show about her emotional ride. Recently, I planned on retiring from the wrestling industry, which is something I never considered in my entire life. I put my entire life into becoming the best professional wrestler I could be. I lost that part of myself and brought on a lot of feelings of emptiness and sadness that I can't even describe. I traveled the entire world to be good at this, just like Owen Hart did. AEW is home to the best women's division on the planet. I just qualified for the Owen Hart Women's Tournament. For the first time ever, I can truly say that I am home. Storm is doing well for herself, both with her jump to All Elite Wrestling and her lucrative OnlyFans account. She's one of wrestling's most promising stars and could become a top force in the AEW's women's division if she's given the right opportunity. Next up, Alexa Bliss unhappy with WrestleMania absence. Although WrestleMania 38 featured a number of female superstars, Bliss was conspicuous by her absence. In fact, PW Insider is reporting that Little Miss Bliss wasn't even backstage for the Dallas event, an unusual occurrence. As Wrestling News' Paul Davis pointed out, WWE tends to bring in the entire roster, and even the talent that is not featured on WrestleMania is still flown in. Davis noted that WWE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase was brought in to appear at this year's Hall of Fame ceremony, which begs the question why Bliss was absent. Although she's been busy preparing for her upcoming nuptials to Ryan Cabrera, she's given no sign that she needs time off from the ring. You may recall Bliss competed at this year's Elimination Chamber but has been absent since. It appears that she wasn't happy with her absence. She tweeted, "If the sticky wheel's always gonna get in the grease, I'm totally devoted to disturbing the peace. I'll do it again when I get it done until I become your number one. No method to the madness and no means of escape. Gonna break every rule, I'll bend them all out of shape." At this point, there are no rumors going around as to why Bliss hasn't wrestled. Keep in mind that the WWE often keeps things hidden from fans when a wrestler is absent, leading to all sorts of speculation. Next up, Shane McMahon's WrestleMania role. It turns out that reports of Shane McMahon appearing at WrestleMania were accurate, as PW Insider reports Shane McMahon showed up with his sons to watch the two-night event. This seems to confirm past reports that Shane's time in WWE Creative as an on-air talent are over, or at least for now. And finally, Ray lends a helping hand, well, actually a foot, to Natalya at WrestleMania 38. And last but not least, wrestlers never know when an attire malfunction may strike, as what happened to Charlotte Flair during a SmackDown Women's Championship defense against Ronda Rousey, or when they'll need to find replacement gear. Veteran grappler Natalya recently shared a story about how fellow superstar Rey Mysterio helped her out when she realized she needed wrestling boots for her fatal four-way tag match at WrestleMania. "Thank you for lending me your wrestling boots for WrestleMania, Rey Mysterio. The boots are one-of-a-kind customs from Pirma Official, and Rey Mysterio is a one-of-a-kind person for always helping his friends. The best." Rey Mysterio replied and said always and anytime. They looked fire. Just another reminder of the incredible camaraderie displayed in the wrestling community. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.